Hi there. So today I was thinking that what vlog can I take within this surrounding because I'm not going out anywhere. So I've been thinking on that what I could do and I've come up with the idea which is I could tell stories because I'm very much interested in telling stories. I'm a storyteller basically. So while I worked for 2 years in a school, something that I will never forget is that I got an opportunity to read stories to children. A lot of stories, and I really enjoyed it. So I thought that why not read some stories and suit myself? I can do that because for every situation in life you have stories. And storytellers basically are people who find a story to go with any situation that is. It could be their own personal experience or it could be a story which they heard or read somewhere. It doesn't have to be personal. In fact, if you have personal experience then it's well and good, but if you don't have it, you can always read it and find the story which goes with it, right? So we're going to read a story. I like to keep this very short. That's the reason I got the camera inside. Yeah. So I've got a mobile here from which I'm going to read you the story because I don't have a storybook as such, the big size which I can show you the pictures and then read the story. So see, whatever situation you are in, what is the best way you can make use of that resources and to make a video. That's what I've been thinking from all these days. It's rainy and you know I've been telling you that I've lost a lot of weight walking. So because of that, these days I'm not going walking also. Because there is a stage in when you're walking, there's a stage. You have to put a pause for some time so that you don't lose more weight. So I've come to that stage now. So instead of walking, I'm supposed to be doing some stretches perhaps. So I will be doing in the coming days. So let's get to the story. I hope you are all interested in stories. So to begin with, I would be reading children's stories because I like children's stories. I like watching cartoons. I'm very choosy when it comes to watching cartoons, not all the cartoons. Well, my favorite cartoons are the Little Princess, the original one. I can relate with that girl a lot. And then I like the Piglet stories. And there are a few cartoons which I like, which is kind of inspiring. It's got a lesson, it's got a moral. It teaches you something, it makes you think. And the language is good. There's a lot of authenticity in that, and that's what I like about these cartoons. So there's nothing to be ashamed of that. You can watch cartoons at any age. It's like telling that you don't read books anymore, you don't like stories anymore. It's like that. See, this is the way I've tied my hair now. In fact, I'm supposed to leave it because it's not dry. But for the video, I kept it like this. Okay? So one of the best ways to connect with any audience, that is through storytelling. Yet many of us don't know how to tell stories. We have problems in how to tell them and also why we need to tell stories. That's two areas which we don't know. So probably we should start by defining the word storytelling. What is storytelling basically? What part of storytelling are you interested in? Are you interested in listening to it? Are you interested in telling stories? Or are you interested in the way they are enacted? What it is like about storytelling. So when using storytelling as a tool to connect with your audience, you must always know the benefit of doing so. Obviously, there are so many benefits. Because I've seen that when you tell stories to children, it's like a two-way connecting, you know. They don't get distracted at all, and it depends on how well you tell the stories, how expressive you are, because children are very sharp, you know. They set their eyes on you as a teacher or a mother or be it anybody. They set their eyes on you, and if you can keep their eyes and if you can also get their attention for a while, it's very difficult though, but I think that can be attained by storytelling. I had the experience with that. So I'm telling you. Okay, so for example, if you're telling a story about how a man made a difference in a community, you should tell a story about how your audience could be the person who makes a difference. It's kind of complicated, okay? But who doesn't love a good story? Is there anybody out there who doesn't love stories? I don't mind if you say you don't like stories, as long as you tell me why. Maybe you have heard the wrong kind of. In fact, there is no wrong kind of story. If the person has the art of telling story, it can be a bad story and still sound better. You know that? So that's how it is. So let's start. Let's read story. Let's go to the page. Okay, we will continue. So you want to expand your children's vocabulary, what you should do, and their imagination, and make them more intelligent. There's a simple thing you need to do, and that is to read to them. That's all you have to do. Tell them stories and read them stories. If you cannot tell them stories like the old grandmothers did, you can always read it to them. You can always buy a book of any language of your mother tongue, probably. As Modi ji always says, your mother tongue is important. So if you don't want to tell a story in English, it's well and good. You can always read them stories in your mother tongue. Read them stories, because that's the way you can connect with children. They get experiences out of it, new experience, and they imagine things. It's very interesting and informative, and it helps you grow. That's all it takes. So let's go to the story. Let's scroll and find the story. You know so many stories. Which is your favorite story? Could you just tell me which is your favorite story? Which is one of the story that you remember somebody had read to you, probably your parents, your teachers, or anybody. There are a lot of stories which remains in our head, and we cannot just get out of it at all, even if we try. Okay, let's get to a very simple story, that is The Fox and the Grapes. Who doesn't know this story? So it's a simple story that I'm going to read out to you today. Okay, I'll tell you how I read it. I'm not saying this is the way you have to do it, but you can do it your own way. Everybody has their own way. The thing is that sometimes you can read a story 1,000 times to a child, but then the child insists on reading it the way their mother has done or somebody, their teacher, has done. So children are very difficult to handle sometimes. They have their own reasoning, right? And so going with that, we continue with the story. Never despise what we cannot have. Nothing comes easily. Okay, the story title is The Fox and the Grapes. One day, a fox became very hungry, and as he went in search for some food, he searched high and low but couldn't find something that he could eat. Finally, as his stomach grumbled, he stumbled upon a farmer's wall. At the top of the wall, he saw the biggest, the juiciest grapes he had ever seen. They had a rich purple color, telling the fox they were ready to be eaten. Now you have to imagine those grapes. When I said all these things, at the top of the wall he saw the biggest, juiciest grapes he had ever seen. Have you ever seen grapes? hanging, how they look. Have you seen if they are ripe or if they are still raw, if they are ready to be eaten? They had a rich purple color, telling the fox they were ready to be eaten. To reach the grapes, the fox had to jump high in the air. Okay. So that's the reason we sometimes wish that may all the fruits be within your reach. There's a good saying like that. Sometimes they are too high, so you cannot grow taller than that, but you should be able to reach to them. To reach the grapes, the fox had to jump high in the air. As he jumped, he opened his mouth to catch the grapes, but he missed. The fox tried again, but missed yet again. He tried a few more times, but kept failing. Finally, the fox decided it was time to give up and go home. These grapes are not good. It's not for me because I can't reach them. While he walked away, he muttered, I'm sure the grapes were sour anyway. So what did the fox say? The fox said, it's well and good I didn't just get them because they were not good at all. They were not good, they were sour. Did you ever have this experience in your life that somebody ever told you that you are not taking up a situation, you're not ready to face a situation because you think those grapes are too high for you, or maybe they are too sour? I have had it once or twice in my life where somebody just came to me and said, you're not willing to take up this challenge because you think these grapes are sour, because you cannot reach them. Then I prefer to keep quiet because they don't know the actual situation. They don't know why I was taking that decision. But then it was okay that they could tell me that because it's fine, because people always criticize, people always have their own opinions because they don't know your point of view. Right? That's how it is. But this is a very simple story, the story of the fox and the grapes. You don't even have to look at the lines and dialogues or whatever is given there. You can just tell it in your own way, and it's as simple as that. So I hope that you like the story. I'll be back with another interesting story. This is the first episode that I just introduced telling a story because I love listening stories, and I love narration. Story narration is very much fun, and I think that it's a great learning tool. Children learn a lot of things, not only children, even adults for that matter. So you can try this, and you can read stories and enjoy yourself by a book. I do that many times, when I have nothing else and I get bored. What I do is I just open up a story site and I go there and I start reading the stories, and it's pretty much interesting for me. So let's change the lighting for a while and see how it is. So this is how, if you change the setting, okay, the background is blurred and you only get to see me. How is that? I can take you to the balcony if you want, but today I'm not taking you there because I wanted to do a storytelling, which is more of a formal thing, and we can always have it here indoor, and that's what we do. Okay. So I hope everybody knows the story, The Fox and the Grapes, but not many people know how to relate with it in the context of life, how you can connect it with the real life situations. So it's a simple story, which means that in life there are situations that you cannot face. And rather than getting disappointed about not able to rise to the occasion, we prefer to say that they were not good. They were not good. Or maybe you can always say there was something, when one door closes, another opens. So if it was not, you couldn't reach to it, probably there's something else that's coming up. That's all. Simple as that. That's how it is. Okay, so that's the art of storytelling. I think we should all try it sometime. That's all I wanted to say. So this is the blog. I'm going to close it now because I don't find any themes for the blog, and see you can't do the same kind of vlogs like doing a reel. You know how I've been doing the reels these days. What I do is I I just talk something on mute and then add a music to that. And that's it. So that doesn't work out all the time. So you have to think of something to do and come up with such ideas. Okay, so then the next vlog probably I'm gonna do one storytelling every week. So that keeps me engaged, and that's one way. See, creativity is something, it's like you can't put a full stop. Creativity is, it goes with you. You have to be doing one or the other thing. There's no escape from that. So you have to just take it along with you. It's a routine. So I've set a timetable for myself, like there are so many activities which I do, and this is one of it now. It's a new addition to it, which I think is pretty interesting. So you have a good time, take care. I'll be back with something more interesting in the coming vlog. And keep growing, keep learning yourself. Self-love is very important. Unless you love yourself, you cannot love others. There's a lot of peace which comes when you love yourself. See, this is a Buddha. This is our teacher's look. This is our lawyer's look. If you have hair which is not good also, for me it's becoming like that now because I have it's not like I have a lot of hair fall, but then I don't know, it's pretty much thinning to the down, so you have to just keep it tight. Otherwise it just won't dry. So that's how it is. I'll be back with another story in just a while. Take care, bye.